Hi there, I'm Richard and welcome to this edition of Hikelopedia. So, you're new to Southeast Asia and you don't know what to take with you on your first hike in tropical weather. Relax, I'm here to help. I've lived in Asia, both Taiwan and Singapore, for more than 20 years, and during that time I've racked up quite a few miles on trail, many of them in hot and humid conditions, which means I have a pretty good idea of what works and what doesn't when hiking in hot weather. So here are my top 10 tips for what you'll need when hiking in tropical conditions. With temperatures hovering at around 30 degrees in places like Malaysia and Indonesia, it's a given that you'll drink a lot. For a day hike, you'll need at least 2 to 3 litres of water, while it's a good idea to take a filter of some kind if you're planning to stay out overnight. Currently, I'm using this Grail as my filter and primary bottle with this 2 litre collapsible hydro pack as my storage. Now you may prefer a different setup, but I find that this works well for me at the moment. While it may be great to take things like cheese and chocolate on hikes in cooler conditions, that's a big no-no in tropical climes, as that kind of food spoils quickly or just melts into a big mess. Cooked foods such as pies and pastries and uncooked foods such as trail mix are a much better option, while I usually take things like instant noodles and oatmeal on longer trips. Pre-packed rations and those funky self-heating meals are another great option in hotter weather. Choosing what to wear on your feet is largely a personal preference, but I would recommend some lightweight hiking boots with ankle protection, just like these. I picked these up at Decathlon for around $90 Singapore, and honestly they're the best pair of boots I've ever had. I got them 2 years ago and I've worn them in both tropical and alpine conditions. The main benefit of these over traditional leather upper boots is that they're breathable and allow your feet to stay cool. But they are also extremely comfortable, pretty waterproof, and the extra protection has saved my ankle from injury on a number of occasions. While on a price-performance trade-off, you really cannot beat them. Now this may sound silly, but another piece of equipment that will come in handy when hiking in the tropics is a jacket. Thin wind cheater is sometimes necessary, as when climbing higher peaks it can get a little chilly near the top, especially if you've been sweating beforehand. Now you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that the sun in Southeast Asia and other tropical places can be extremely strong. That presents a problem for fair-headed people like me, so proper headwear is a must. I'd recommend a big hat with a wide visor to protect you from the sun, although you can often take it off when you're walking under a thick canopy. Now, I don't really like to use sun cream as it's sticky and greasy, so another item that I'd recommend are arm covers. A long sleeve shirt like this can perform the same task, but it sometimes gets a little hot under there. While with arm covers, you can protect your arms from the sun while still leaving a gap for the air to circulate and keep you cool. While raincoats are the rain gear of choice in cooler conditions, I prefer to use a poncho when hiking in tropical climes. It's hot enough already, so when you add another layer, for example a raincoat, it just makes you sweat even more. A poncho, however, can quickly protect you and your gear from the worst of the downpour, while still allowing the cool air to circulate. Okay, that's enough. One thing many people worry about when hiking in Southeast Asia is mosquitoes, because malaria can be a problem. But for day hikes in places like Singapore and Malaysia, I've never found them to be that much of a problem, because if you keep moving and don't stand around, then they won't bother you. Staying overnight at low elevation, however, is a different matter, and you will need repellent, as well as a mosquito net if you don't have a tent. The real bane of a hiker's life in places like Malaysia are leeches. These little bloodsuckers are ubiquitous around trails and forests, and they are extremely stealthy. As for prevention, it's difficult as they can wriggle their way down into your shoes or up your trouser legs without you even noticing. Luckily, they don't carry diseases, but getting bitten by them still sucks, excuse the pun. Especially if they've been attached for a while, because even after you remove them, your blood will continue to flow for several hours. They're easily removed with insect repellent, but I don't bother, dealing with them as and when I find them. One of the most important yet easiest to forget pieces of equipment you'll need when hiking in the tropics is this, a small towel. What do you need it for? You drape it around your neck or hook it into your backpack like this and then use it to wipe away the sweat. It's also great to freshen up with, as you can give it a quick rinse in any streams you come across and then wipe yourself down with some lovely cool water. Important when hiking anywhere, but doubly so in humid conditions, is a change of clothes. If there's one thing that's guaranteed when you finish, you'll be pretty sweaty, and if you're like me, pretty smelly too. Luckily, most places in Malaysia have shower facilities at or near the trailhead, so you can freshen up and change out of your dirty gear before heading home. So remember to take some shower gear and some clean clothes. And that's it. While it's not a definitive list by any means, hopefully it will give you a few tips on what to take when you venture on your first tropical hike or trek. I hope you found this useful. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content. That's it for now. Good luck with your tropical trekking. Over and out.